The Rudd government's recent bold announcement of a $43 billion plan to build a new national broadband network in partnership with Corporate Australia came with a series of technical terms that left many people confused. For instance, what is fibre to the home and why should so much of the national wealth be spent on it? Tasmania is one of the few places this technology has been trialled in Australia, and the debate happening there gives a taste of what's on the mainland. The early indication is that it won't be without controversy and may open up the old city-country divide. Connor Duffy reports from Tasmania.
We got hooked up nearly 2 years ago now.
The fibre cable comes direct off the power pole there, straight into our roof and down into our lounge room.
This sleepy Hobart street has had a sneak preview of the country's biggest infrastructure project in decades. These multi-port blocks have been attached to power poles as part of a small state government trial, and they feed fibre optic cable directly into Ashley Cooper's living room.
It's all in a nice self-contained area, nice small footprint.
And so this is what it'll be like for the rest of Australia when they get the national broadband network as well, or something very similar?
Something very similar, I would suspect, yes.
Over the next few years, this technology will be rolled out to millions of living rooms across the country. And the early review from Ashley Cooper is glowing.
I think the ability to have myself upstairs checking emails and browsing the internet while my son Alex is actually playing his game, World of Warcraft, or Madeline watching TV that's streaming over the internet while Penny's on a phone call, all at the same time, is very impressive.
In the past, limited broadband services have made it impossible for the Cooper family to do all this at once. And when the new technology makes it to homes across the country, download speeds will be as fast as 100 megabits per second. That's 100 times faster than what many people use now. It's so quick that a high-definition movie could be downloaded in just 8 minutes. At the moment, it takes hours, and in some cases, all day. It's also fast enough to make high-definition video conferencing a reality.
I think it's great, and people will sort of be able to embrace it fairly easily.
Well, the trial's given people not just access to broadband, but also television services, video on demand, phone services and security systems. If this can be rolled out nationally, we'll be in good shape.
Apparently I can't come past the phone here.
Aside from the small state government trial, Tasmania has the slowest and most expensive internet in the country. And many were surprised when the Prime Minister announced the state would be fast-tracked from last to first.
This new national broadband network is going to start its rollout here.
No one's more surprised than businessman John Groom.
OK, so what I want you to do is scan this to a TIFF file.
He runs an IT business and says he often has to roster staff on to work at night when there is less demand on his limited internet capacity.
And it's meant that what should take us hours, a task should take us hours to perform, has actually taken us days. And as I say, it's meant that we've had to have resources working through the night when typically or ideally you would have that sort of work being performed during the day.
Well, this is what we've been calling for, is to get Tasmania put first on the NBN rollout list, because Tasmania has been historically behind the 8 ball on broadband, and this new deal should put us at the top of the pile.
John Groom expects the new service could come online as soon as the end of the year, meaning his staff will be off the night shift and the business will be internationally competitive.
We think it's going to be fantastic. It means that we can potentially look at providing software solutions and other services using internet that may have been 5 or 10 years down the track.
Ready? Yep.
But 35 kilometres away, in Hobart's Channel Country, they certainly aren't celebrating. Under the terms of the deal, 90% of Australian homes will be connected and towns with less than 1,000 people could miss out. And while Kevin Rudd has upset other state premiers by giving small Tasmanian towns special treatment, in the town of Kettering, they're not holding their breath.
I think we're totally going to miss out on that. And it's such a shame because we're a half hour away without one traffic light from Hobart, and we will not see that.
Kim Broadleaf's business is typical of the new tourism ventures transforming Tasmania's economy.
You bring the weather, we'll have the fire.
She and her husband Ian run a sea kayaking business. It has to compete internationally, so the web is crucial. They have broadband now, but it's much slower than what's available in Hobart today, let alone what will be on offer when fibre to the home arrives.
So in some ways we might almost be going even further backwards.
Those fears will resonate across regional Australia, where many businesses struggle to keep up with technology taken for granted in the city. Already mayors in key marginal seats are complaining they'll be left behind. And in Kettering, Kim Broadleib doesn't even have mobile phone service, something she says shocks many of her overseas customers.
Is it almost funny then that you could be talking about this great leap in broadband when you don't even have mobile phone service, you've only just come off dial-up?
It is. It's hysterical. It's a bit archaic, really. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But back in Hobart, the Cooper family and others are thrilled Tasmania will get the technology first. They have one concern though, pricing. They'd rather have cheap downloads than the super fast speeds on offer.
We don't need 100 megabit, but we certainly need a reasonable amount of download so that we're not limited in what we can do.
The fibre to the home trial was initially offered to all the homes on this street, but even with free installation, many people didn't take it up, and it's believed the number of people that took part in the program could be as low as 200.
Tasmania's state-owned power company refused to confirm or discuss how many people took part, saying the information is commercial in confidence. But some internet discussion groups said the high cost was a turn-off, and it'll be a cautionary note for the new national broadband network.
Connor Duffy reporting from Hobart. One of Melbourne's